MiX Telematics is a fleet management and vehicle tracking company with operations around the world. Its main brands are Matrix and BeamE. MiX Telematics was founded in 1996 and spun off from Control Instruments in 2007. Market cap 4.6 billion rand, trades on a PE of 28, dividend yield of 1.5%. Who would like to kick off with this one?
Well, let me put in the first few chirps. I mean, this is the absolute opposite. This is a stock which has really just set the world on fire. So Steph Joselowitz and his team have really done spectacular work here. The product is very attractive. As you know, vehicle tracking more in the commercial end of the market where people want to improve fuel and fleet efficiencies. Really doing well. They've done fabulously in Africa. They've got teams in Europe. They've got a team in the US. And really just taking South African technology global and really doing so well. I mean, they have
well, look at the performance on that share price.
They've taken it recently to the US in terms of doing a secondary listing on the NASDAQ market. That's been well received and just overall on fire.
But fair to say, Tsepo, that you've missed the boat on this one.
No, for sure. I mean, the stock prices more than doubled over the course of the last year. And that really reflects a lot of the good news that Paul talks about. They have some operations in 112 countries, I think direct operations in 7 of those, and that speaks to a South African company that's managed to take their product quite successfully into the rest of the world. So phenomenal business, cash flow generation, superb to say the least. But I think all of that has really been reflected in the stock price movements to date.
But Paul, this has never deterred you before to buy at an all-time high, so I'm sure you are batting for this one.
Look, it literally is trading at R5.99 today, so that's just perking. Unfortunately, what happens with stocks like these is they're very hard to buy. They are easier to sell than to buy, but they're always hard to buy because no one wants to sell them. Why would you with those kinds of returns? So the liquidity is not so great. I expect they will continue to do well because remember, this is a niche business that sprung up because of what ubiquitous cell phone networks. So they were able to create web-based platforms using IP technology, which enables people to track their fleet on their desks. You know, it's not really complex technology. It's very reliant and resilient and very easy to install, including in areas where normally business is quite tough to conduct, like in sub-Saharan Africa.
If it's found such a perfect niche, doesn't that make it an appropriate acquisition target?
That's actually a good point. I don't know if as an acquirer I'd be buying at these levels still.
But it might be a good bolt-on acquisition in this electronic appliance environment.
That's a great suggestion for somebody out there. Look, I think their broad exposure now, I think they've just set up operations in Brazil. It means that they're continuously opening up different markets, and you're right, presents a phenomenal opportunity for a bigger player.
Hot or not, Paul?
Look, I mean, we've got world-class technology in this area because we've got world-class vehicle thieves in this region. You know, they grab them and take them over the border to Mozambique.
We think it's so funny. You know, I was also laughing there. I mean, where else in the world do we talk about car thieves and burst out into laughter? It's really a problem. South Africans
these thieves have got such advanced technology skills, so the technology had to advance in order to combat the situation. So I think they'll continue to do well. I mean, Steph Joselowitz has relocated himself to Houston, which I don't normally agree with when the CEO externalizes himself, but they definitely do want to try and take this stuff global.
He's taken himself to Houston.
That's where he's based. So he,
Isn't that a little far off?
Spearheading the internationalization of the business. Look, he does have good, strong operational leadership in all these different regions. But I really do think they want to have a full go at trying to get this thing up and selling. And why not, with the right kind of energy. So who knows what kind of growth they can deliver. The moment the market is betting that they can deliver, 50, 60 cents a share of earnings in 1 or 2 years' time going forward. I think it's still hot, but take that under advisement. It's a bit of a rocket.
I didn't ask you hard. I want to do something quickly, a quick survey. How many cars have you had stolen, Paul?
Me, none ever.
None ever? Oh. No,
actually, no, that's not true. About 10 years ago, my wife's car was stolen and we were able to get it back with the tracking device.
All right, Tsepo, how many have you?
None ever.
Oh, well, obviously I'm outranked. I've had 2, something I'm doing wrong. 2 stolen. Anyway, yes, now I can go to hot or not. Paul?
Hot for me.
Tsepo?
Look, whilst I think this is a phenomenal business, I like it operationally, I think a lot of that good news is in the price, so it makes me very nervous, so not hot for me.